Awesome day to you, awesome people, and welcome again for your midweek awesomeness. My name is Shanrika Crawford Benjamin. I am your awesome host. This morning, I have more awesome guests as usual for today's show. So I hope you're ready to, listen and learn. Hopefully you'll be inspired and all of that good stuff. But thank you for joining us, whether it's now on the live or later on the replay for What's Your Story, where we share, empower, heal, and inspire. And we're every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come and join us. For our guests, it is brought to you by Say Something, which is an online store where you can find custom apparel and more. Check that out at saysomething.company.site. And it's also brought to you by Kids Love Money, which is an interactive workbook series on financial literacy for children. So if you know a kid, everybody knows a kid, right? Get the book, basically. But you can check that out at kidslovemoney.shop. Again, thank you for joining us to get your midweek awesomeness. But my guests, Amar and Amari, will be joining us this morning to talk about business or love and business, if you want to say that. But hold on tight. We'll be right back with you. Welcome back to another episode of What's Your Story, where we share, empower, heal, and inspire. And again, let me bring on my awesome guests this morning so they can get the story out to you guys. Awesome morning to you, beautiful people. How are you?
Great. Good morning to you. Thank you for asking. And yourself?
I'm great. Thank you. I appreciate y'all joining me this morning. Oh, you using your government? I didn't put your government.
Yeah, right. Walden the third and Dana Walden.
Right. So I used
like you say.
I use the Facebook names. I ain't use their government, but I'm gonna let them. I'm gonna let them tell you. I do know who they are, though. I do know the government names. So don't think I don't know who I'm talking to. But this is my, again, awesome guest for this morning. I appreciate them. I admire them.
Wow.
When we met through a group. Jesus Christ.
The Black Millionaires Club.
Thank you, Lord.
No problem.
Give me the words. I'll tell you. This morning is starting out, but it ain't gonna end that way. So
that's right.
Let me say that. But we met through the Black Billionaires Club, and and I always admired you because whenever you came on or whenever you spoke, you always, no matter what you say, I'm the CEO or whatever, but my wife, you always included her to make it known that, hey, this is my wife, this is my partner, saying we in this thing together, and I
Absolutely.
I love that, and not just, for you saying it, but when I see you all, both of you together, you display that respect, that the respect and that, that camaraderie, like, it ain't like for the camera, it ain't for the camera. But anyway, I'm gonna let y'all have the floor and give y'all awesome story, about the great things that y'all are doing and have done together,
sure,
as a couple. So ladies first. I'm gonna let Queen go ahead and hey, what's your story?
We come a long ways. I'm gonna tell you, we come a long ways together, and we've had a road trip prior to each other, which led us to this very point in time. My husband, he likes this song. It's called Lessons. What happened in the past is what helped me in him to choose each other. We should learn the lessons. He has another analogy about ills, but I'm going to say we should learn the lessons of our past in order to capitalize on that to bring us to a better future. So I would say my name is Dana Walden, otherwise known as Queen Amari. I am an entrepreneur, have been an entrepreneur for a few years, but prior to me being a full-time entrepreneur, I endeavored in entrepreneurship prior to. I was a single parent mom living in the projects. I 21 years old. I purchased my first home. At a young age of 19, I started investing in what we call 401k plan, and I started planning my future. I've gone to all types of colleges and all types of schools, and it brought me to where I'm at right now, which at this particular age, a couple years ago, I decided to hang my head up and not be an employee anymore. And I've taken that money that I saved over the years, and my husband and I, we went and purchased our properties free. I mean, not free, I'm sorry, in cash, because we were our own bank. You know, we set it up as such. And so we now we're entrepreneurs again. Like I said, we have a total of 5 businesses, 4 or 5.
That's right.
And I'll let him tell you the rest.
All right. Okay, brother.
Sure. For myself, what I did was I learned financial strategies from individuals that look like you and I, and they seen potential in me, and they taught me these strategies. And I personally didn't know about these various financial strategies, such as stocks. I didn't know anything about an index universal life policy, where it's a money market account where you can grow your money, and it has a high compound interest rate to where you can build wealth, not only for you, but also for even a newborn child. See, I didn't know these type of strategies, right? Because I grew up in a neighborhood where it was a lot of poverty. Okay, you know, I was on welfare. I know what that looks like. I remember going to the corner store to get credit at the corner store. You know, I remember asking my mother, you know, for minuscule amounts of money, and I couldn't even get that amount of money, you know. So I had made up in my mind, you know, that I didn't want to be broke like the individuals that was around me. You know, that's not something I desired to grow up to be. You know, I didn't look at them and say, oh, yeah, I want to grow up broke just like them.
Right.
You know,
ain't cute.
Exactly. You know, I'm like, nah, you know, this is not it. You know, so I decided to go into the Marine Corps. And I like to say I gave 20 years of my life to set me up for the rest of my life. So for those who are 9-to-5 millionaires, you know, like our good brother out there that work with Brother E.T., you know, he has a ministry, and it's called the 9-to-5 Millionaire. I love that, you know, because what got my queen and I here is that 9-to-5.
That's what we did yesterday.
You understand what I'm saying? It's so many people being beat up today in regards to being on a 9-to-5 job. First of all, everybody has their life path. Okay, everybody's not a queen bee. You need the worker bees. Okay, if you want to expand your business, okay, if you want to do that, then you need people to work with you. You need customers. You need co-workers to make your dream and your vision come to fruition. So I just want to say to you 9-to-5 millionaires out there, keep on grinding, okay, until you get to the point where you can be a full-time entrepreneur. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the foundation. Okay, that's how I got to where I am today. That's the reason why I'm able to be fully retired. It was because of my retirement pension.
Yes.
A lot of people don't want to talk about that. A lot of people want to tell you
jump straight into it.
You know, they want to tell you the story that they want you to know. They don't want to tell you the whole thing. No, part of the reason why I'm able to do it is not only because we're self-employed.
Same here.
Okay.
Right. You had a stepping stone.
That's right. That 9-to-5 was the foundation that I used to help me to build wealth. You know, so I budgeted, and that enabled me. Okay, because see, I didn't know what my wife knew. You know what I'm saying? A brother knew budgeting. A brother knew budgeting, you know. And I did invest though. However, it wasn't an aggressive investment. I had a fund, okay, and it wasn't as aggressive as being in real estate, okay, or as a money marketing account. Okay,
Right.
it didn't grow as fast. The return wasn't exponential like it is on a money marketing account or dealing with stocks and trading. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, my money didn't grow as much as hers did. You know what I'm saying? But I did have an investment. But nevertheless, I used that budgeting strategy. I came up with a plan, okay? Literally a 3-year out plan.
That's right.
That I knew where I would be at economically, so I didn't have to retire with any debt. And I'm saying excessive debt as well, because I did have a credit card, okay, but I wasn't over the limit.
Right.
I'm talking about my 20-30% utilization, okay? I wasn't behind on payments, all right? You know what I'm saying? Because credit, if you use it right, it will help you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
contrary to popular belief, some of these strategies out here, you know, listen, man, we have friends that are millionaires and they use credit. So I don't know where a lot of people getting this stuff from. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, all these $1 billion companies, okay, they use credit. They use not their own personal credit score. They use a paid X score, which is business credit.
Right.
So they do use credit, right?
Yeah, they do.
You know, so we want people to understand that, you know, you have to learn these various strategies to help you to get where you are today. And it's going to be an accumulation of both. Okay, because when you purchase your own home, you have to have personal credit. When you start purchasing items for your business, that's where your business credit starts coming into play at. Company vehicles, things of that nature. When you start dealing with those things, you want to learn these various strategies to position you and your family to build that financial shelter, you know, to be able to support your family for endless generations to come.
And ask me later how to bypass all of that.
She don't found the secret sauce.
I love conversation in the house.
I don't know what that's supposed to be because we using both together. So I don't know what she's talking about.
I know.
Yeah.
But what was your first endeavor together? Was it real estate? It was real estate.
Well, actually, no, it was actually our clothing. It was actually our clothing business, because at first we had a male African clothing business under the umbrella of Kevlar Lifestyle. So that's because that was 2018. We actually started our real estate investing in 2019. But if you want to be technical, it really started when she purchased her first home, really.
I'm going to add to that. Our first endeavor is when we went in together to have a network business for Black businesses. But
see, we wasn't monetizing on that. So basically, that's the reason why I mentioned the Al Kevlar Lifestyle, because we wasn't monetizing on that business.
Okay. Well, you wasn't, but you, in a sense, you wasn't, like you said, monetizing, but you was, I guess, in a sense, because the connections.
That was our nonprofit contribution to the community. That's the only reason why I didn't mention that, because that was the first business we did. But I mentioned that, which we talking about building wealth, right?
Just building wealth, it's a wealth of relationships, a wealth of connections in a sense. So it ain't money, but it's, you know, something that I guess
I feel you. I'm talking about cashing in on it. Like,
we talking about getting to the money. Okay.
Monetizing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We did meet, actually, one of my first mentors, because she already had friends that was millionaires, you know, things of that nature. Myself, that was my first mentor that I met, Patrick Dean, RE Wealth Advisors. He was my first mentor, who was a bona fide real millionaire in real life. Yeah. And he was the one who pulled us up under his wing. And my wife had literature prior to us meeting him. And so we had already started studying. And so I'm going to be honest with you, he kind of noticed that we weren't ignorant.
Right.
At the table, he was like, you could tell he kind of looked, he's like, I gotta kind of corner them somewhere to see where I come in at, you know. And it was my wife due diligence of her being a person that is an avid reader, you know, and she loves to listen to audio books and things of this nature. So, you know, we learned these various strategies, like from Robert Kiyosaki, you know, things of this nature. You know, we learned to be able to set these strategies up by listening to individuals like himself, who's a sophisticated investor. And basically that means somebody who is actually pulling in the millions, making the big dollars, like crowdfunding, dealing with sophisticated investing like that. So these are the type of individuals that I listened to, and he was the one who actually, sat down and taught us further strategies and how it worked and how we needed to set up our bank accounts and stuff like that. Basically to do business in real life. And this is what I like to tell people, is to come from up under the table, because when you talk to real life millionaires, I'm gonna just keep it real with you. The conversation is totally different.
It is.
It is totally different. You learn about getting on the Better Business Bureau. You learn about getting on the 411. You learn about putting your business in a legal state so you can position yourself to get the proper funding and things of this nature. So we had learned from the start how to do business right.
Yeah.
And so when it came time for us to get funding, we were already in position.
Right, with no question.
We had the right mentors talking to us and not people just online just talking and how it goes.
Yeah.
Screenshotting, having photoshopping and all
right. Look
like
what I made in 2 minutes. That type of thing.
And
but
talking about you don't need no money, for stuff like that.
that part. But and okay, just kind of switching gears a little bit, just talk about marriage. Y'all have been married about what, 5 years?
Yes,
or maybe
6 actually.
Okay, going on 6 years. And so y'all in the midst of, because they say the first 5 are like the hardest, right? Because you get to know each other and getting used to each other. But in the midst of getting, doing that, you're starting businesses. Like, was it real? Was it hard? Did it take a toll on your marriage? Doing that, would you have done it differently? Had you a do-over? Just your thoughts on that.
I'm gonna answer that question.
I'm gonna say it's amazing.
I'll follow.
Because we kept a happy, healthy marriage all the way through. Throughout all of the challenges, throughout all of the adversity, throughout all that we had to do to develop these businesses and develop our relationship at the same time. It is a happy, healthy relationship. I cannot say that there aren't business challenges that happen, but we know how to divide the wheat from the tares, so to speak. We know how to divide, business from pleasure.
Yeah.
And my husband, he makes it that, he makes it pleasurable. He is a stickler. He's a Virgo. He's a stickler on.
Hey! I'm a Virgo now.
Yeah.
That's my fellow Virgo.
I'm a Sagittarius. We like to play, but he keeps us in order and in line. And I have to commend him, because every Friday and every Saturday we're pulling away from the office. We're not in. We may have spent 15-hour days at times, but he makes sure that we take time out to get breather, to love on each other. And I believe that's the glue that kept it together.
So and you just had a weekend, which was in time for his birthday. So he got 2 treats, huh?
Absolutely.
But talk about
it was beautiful.
It was
beautiful. Yes, it was beautiful.
Good. Well, okay, but talk about like how did you keep it like healthy? Not the details, but because he over there smiling like he remembering some things. But
yes, I did. I had a flashback.
Not only did we. Not only did we build business, but we made some major moves. You know what I mean? We had to leave. He moved from North Carolina to Florida. Then we had to make a major move from Florida to Tennessee. You know what I mean? We have done some major things within that 5 years. And then after that, we took our net worth from where it was when we got to over $1 million in assets. We did all of this within a period of 5 years without going to divorce court, without, you know what I'm saying, without having a knockdown drag out. You know?
Yeah.
And to me, you know, it's commendable for us.
Yeah,
Everybody, only the strong survive.
Girl, you ain't lying. And, you know, and that's what I, you know, admire so much about y'all, because I know it's been a short period. You know, y'all haven't been as long as, you know, well, a lot of people are like, oh, they've been together 50 years, but, you know, but it's been a short period of time that you've been married, you know, and you've accomplished so much together, you know, together. You know what I'm saying? That stands out to me. You know, and I guess it kind of goes back to being equally yoked. You know, that's why it is so very important, because, you know, if you on one side, you know, thinking and doing, and then the person is on the other side of thinking and doing, you know, that's why it ends up in divorce court. But
we respect each other, and we respect the boundaries, and we respect the individuality. I respect him as an individual, and I respect him as my husband.
That's right. There's no mission around here like submit unto me. You're my wife. There's none of that. You know, and you know, it's because, like my queen said, you know, it's that respect. Like, I don't come at my wife like she's, you know, less than
a piece of property, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, my wife, we're equal. You know what I'm saying? And we follow the divine. We follow the supreme creator. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm never going to leave that out, because we have a moral basis in our relationship. And that's another reason why our relationship is successful, is because we live by moral principles.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, we never, and this is no lie, we've never gotten into a disagreement about who's the head. We've never got to a disagreement about that. You understand? Yeah. Because of our love and our respect for each other. Yeah. That's it. I don't give my wife no rules and orders, and first of all, she's too mature for that. She's not, you know, an adolescent where I have to give her guidelines and stuff. Nah, she's mature enough to handle situations to where I don't feel like I'm a parent more so than I am a husband.
Right. That's very important.
So we respect each other. We learned each other's love language. We learn each other's likes and dislikes, and of course, we try our best to stay away from it, right? Because there's certain habits that we have that we don't do intentionally. It's just habits that we have that irritate each other. you know? And so we you know what I'm saying? We got to be humble and be understanding and work around those things, you know, that may cause friction, but not intentionally cause friction. You see what I'm saying? Not intent. There's two different things. We don't do stuff to each other, you know what I'm saying?
Being petty.
Out of intention. And, you know, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Petty.
You know, and if we have a disagreement, we have no problem with giving each other space to cool down. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature, because we need them cool down moments too now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, think about it now.
But that's human.
You work with somebody and you live with them. There ain't no separation, no time. You understand?
You gotta sleep with them.
Yeah. Right. 24/7 pretty much. You know.
So another thing is too, I got to add this, you know what I'm saying? In all seriousness, is you have to give each other that me time too. That's another reason why it's healthy. We're not clingy like that. We're not all over each other all the time and stuff like that. You know, we don't do that. We give each other space.
And another thing, I'm gonna say something, and it just came to my mind. It also helps that the design of our home, the physical design, it helps to divide these different areas. We have a suite that's just for office, you know what I'm saying? Just for work, just for the computer. This is where we have our business meetings. This is where, you know, we have discussions in the bed, but this is where we have our interviews, is on that side of the house. And when we set the light off and we go to the other side of the house, it's something different. We want to eat. We got a section where we eat at, and that's all we do over there. We eat, we talk, we cook. Then when we're done there, we got a section that we go to bed in. Right. And what I'm saying is that the office shouldn't be overwhelm the bedroom, so to speak. When you have a husband and wife situation, there has to be a dividing line, even if the office is over, in another room down the hall. My mom always told me, she said, don't bring that office work in your bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
She said, don't bring all that stuff in your bedroom. And she knew she was with my father and they had a home office or what have you. And she just laid it out, so I keep all of that stuff separate.
Yeah. And that makes sense.
And get some balance. You won't have that issue.
And sometimes we do have those, to be transparent. Sometimes we do have those dialogues in the room, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But with our relationship, we don't have no problem with that. You see what I'm saying? Like, if it's something that really needs to be discussed, you know what I'm saying, then we'll knock it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That it's a wrap. It's over with after that. So that's one thing I can honestly say too, is that we don't hold on to things like, it's like, okay, it's done, it's over, let's move on now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we be wrapping packages in the bedroom. We won't be doing that.
Yeah. I know that's right.
We do have an online e-commerce business.
Yeah. And also congratulations to you both, because you both actually you done added on another business. It's some more credentials. I know that Amani, you're doing logistics.
I'm a freight broker, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And brother, you doing insurance. You're an insurance producer. Let me say that correctly.
No, you're right. Yes, we in the finance industry, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I know that you all, and you both have children. So are your children being like groomed to join into the business, or do you have like joint ventures with them? Because I know you're big on family and and generational wealth and everything. So I know the kids doing something.
Definitely. Our daughter, she's a part of the freight logistics, the freight transportation business, and my son, he does the modeling for our Cabernet Lifestyle. He models the t-shirts and stuff that we have, and our other son is going into the real estate side of the house. That's where we stand at with all of our children. That's all three right there. All three of us.
Yeah, everybody take work. I'm sorry, what you say, sister?
We got grandkids, we gonna put to work soon.
I know that's right. Look, I was telling mine, look, you better sell some books now. Sell some books. But getting them in the habit of thinking about, being a producer instead of always a consumer, that's so very important. But well, what would you tell the people? I guess what are the biggest things that have kept y'all together throughout it all? These last almost 6 years of starting businesses and mixed families and getting to know each other. What do you attribute to your saving grace, I guess?
Honestly, I've been very blessed because she raised her children right, and they're very respectful of me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's their personality, first of all. So it was by the way she raised them. So and my son respects her. You know what I mean? So it's just we've been blessed to raise our children right. It's our mindsets, as well that keeps us together. And I'm never going to overlook the fact it's our spiritual basis that we have in our life. It's our morals, and that's the bottom line. It is really the bottom line. It's our morals. It's our love for each other that keeps us together. Also knowing how to balance, work, married life, so you got to be mature enough to know how to balance that. You know what I'm saying? And you got to know how to turn it off and turn it on.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to add on to that. And he is just so right when he talks about, the spiritual part of it. My husband is a praying man. You know what I'm saying? He is very in tune with his spiritual side. And even when I don't say a word, his spirit on the inside of him would minister to him and say, you and your wife should talk this over better, or maybe you shouldn't have said this, or she needs this, just because he's in tune.
Right.
That's the same thing, with me when I first came, because my spirit knows how I am. My spirit
Mm-hmm.
knows that I'm quick with it. So I remember driving from North Carolina to Tennessee. We were moving,
Mm-hmm.
and spirit was like, you need to stay together. So I'm like saying to myself, why is spirit telling me this? I'm all that, I ain't going nowhere. But I guess my spirit knew me better than me.
Right.
Ready to cut and run. But spirituality plays a very important part, and I would just encourage anyone out there to take some time to meditate, to take some time to listen to the inside of you. I don't care. This is, like my husband say, this is not spookism. We're telling you what helped us. We're telling you what we tapped into and what we listen to, and when we have a question, we ask, and the universe answers. When we're in our business and we're trying to sell something, we speak to the universe, so to speak, and we get our answers on what product to sell, what avenue to go, what financial route should we take, what should we say, what platform should we be in, should we be associated with this person, should we not be associated with this person?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? What's the avenue? Really? And again, I am very spiritual. I pick up stuff in a minute, before attacks come, before snakes arrive, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So I would encourage everyone to get in touch with the navigator. Learn how to meditate. Learn how to pray.
Yeah.
Learn how to be obedient to what you're hearing on the inside of you.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate, both of you. And this is their information at the bottom. If you want to reach out to them on Facebook, the Black Business and Finance Group, there's the Facebook and the Instagram handles for those. And also, you can find them on Facebook as Amani, Amari, and Amari. You want to reach out to them. Great people.
Thank you.
Last words for the people?
Yes, please do, reach out to us. We would love to help you and your family build business-based generational wealth, also building generational wealth via investing. And please join the group. I know you may hear us talk about being wealthy, and you may say they're going to charge a fee. I know how people be thinking, right? But amazingly, to your surprise, family, is for free for you to actually join that group. Okay, we want you to join the group. It is a hub where we have licensed professionals that I have reached out to personally, okay, that have agreed to share nonprofit information with you that they get paid thousands and in some cases hundreds of dollars for. And this is no exaggeration. We said we need to help our people. So listen, we got a starter kit for you. Okay, we're going to help you to learn business, and we're going to help you to learn how to gain, grow, sustain, and protect your wealth. Listen, for free. It's a starter kit. Only thing that you got to do is just click the link, ask to join, and you're going to be on your way. So we would love to help you and your family do the same, family. We want to see you prosper too.
Right. It's that simple. So it ain't no excuses. It's free. But yeah, but I thank y'all for joining me. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate you both, beautiful people. I'm going to put you in the green room for a second, and I'll be right back with you, okay?
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Welcome.
All right. Thank you all for joining us again for another midweek awesome show. To get your midweek awesomeness, my name again is Shenrika Crawford Benjamin. I am your awesome host. And this has been What's Your Story, where we share, empower, heal, and inspire. See you next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this has been What's Your Story. Take care, guys.